Kia ora, and welcome to Crystal Payroll. There are over 60 reports that can be generated from Crystal Payroll. This is because under the Report Center, not only are there the reports that you see initially, but there are also reports within those reports that can be generated. The intention of this tutorial, though, is to highlight to you the most important reports to export for record-keeping purposes. First and foremost, head over to Report Center and then Payroll Reports. From the Payroll Reports section, you can view old payslips as well as old payment reports. Aside from these, you can also take a look at Payslip Summary, which is a great report for reconciliation. For Payslip Summary, you can choose the pay period range or keep it set to a specified pay period. Tick or untick the Show Breakdown parameters and then view the report. Right away, you can see why this report is so beneficial, as it breaks down each pay item. Select Email and Export. Like all reports, you can email this report to yourself, or you can export it as a particular file type. This report works best in .pdf format. Another great payroll report is Trial Balance. You can, again, choose between a pay period or date range, or keep it set to a specified pay period. If you choose multiple pay periods, you may want to tick Show Breakdown by Pay Periods. If you are reconciling this with the IRD, then you may want to select Payment Date instead of Period End Date. View this report. This generates a beautiful table with income thoroughly broken down into each respective column. Again, you can email and export this report. This report is best downloaded in an Excel form. That's all for payroll reports. Head into Company Analysis. Select Leave Entitlement Analysis. This report is best used to answer employees' questions regarding their leave balance. This is because this report shows a thorough breakdown of what the employee has been given, what they have taken, and what they have outstanding. If you want to look at this report, or export this report, you should first select between two date ranges. If you want their complete history, we suggest putting the date range far back into the past and setting the until date to today's date. You may want to select a later date though if you have processed the current period in advance. Again, email and export this report. Since this report is best used to answer employees' questions, it is most beneficial to email this off. Although if you did want a copy for yourself, then you could export this as a .pdf format. Next, head into Certificate of Earnings. The Certificate of Earnings report is best used for whenever you need to show an employee or a third party an employee's total earnings. You can select from a specified date range or use the yearly drop-down option. You likely want to select FY and TY. FY stands for financial year and will use the pay period end dates, whereas TY stands for tax year and will use the payment dates. Note that the IRD use the payment dates. Select View Report. If you are happy with this report, again, you may select Email and Export. You probably want to email this report. However, if you need it for your own records, again, export it as a .pdf format, as this works best. Let's now take a look at IRD filing. The best report for working out how much you need to pay the IRD before the 20th of each month is Employer Deduction IR345. We suggest viewing this report once a month and reading the figure down the bottom of the report. This tells you the exact amount to pay the IRD. If you were to find a discrepancy between what Crystal Payroll tells you to pay the IRD and what the IRD themselves tell you, then you should generate a report called Employer Deduction Analysis. From Employer Deduction Analysis, tick the Show Breakdown by Pay Periods box so that you can check each line against the filing in your MyIR and find out quickly where the discrepancy lies. That's all you need to know for the IRD filing section. So let's now take a look at accounting analysis. If you do any form of job costing, then it may be worth familiarizing yourself with the costing reports displayed under this section. Otherwise, for a great report, we suggest viewing the Holiday/Leave Liability report. The Holiday/Leave Liability report, with termination selected, should be looked at once a month so that you can stay on top of an employee's leave entitlement. Specifically, you should be looking at the liability amount columns so that you know what the employees would roughly be paid if they were to leave employment at that time. It is best to export this report as an Excel spreadsheet once a month for record keeping and for contrasting between other months. Another report under this section is General Ledger Analysis. This report is what you would use if you have an accounting system integrated with Crystal Payroll. Otherwise, you can ignore this for the most part. The General section has a few good HR reports that you may find useful. The most used report, though, is easily the employee file. It comes in 3 types. This gives you the employee's information that has been entered in the system and is best exported as a .pdf file. Note that you cannot export the details report into Excel, as it is not friendly enough for Excel to read. That about wraps up the most important reports that you should know about. Note that your business may have other requirements or other preferences for reports. We hope, though, that this has given you a good overview of what you can retrieve from Crystal Payroll and where you can gather this information.